Where's the time of the clock? Hello, everybody. I hope you can see us and hear us. I am not in a good mood.
That's for sure.
I had words with Lucy.
Lots of words.
Lots of words with Lucy. So I'm not in a happy mood.
Well, Lucy was behaving herself earlier today.
Yeah, and always just before you go on air and you got to change the bloody thread on it or the bobbin, that's when she wants to give you all kinds of problems. She's a bitch. I hate Lucy. I have a love-hate relationship with her. I love to hate her. But
well, maybe
anyways,
she was getting tired of that pattern.
Oh, be what? Okay. So it's a little dense. Not unlike you. Okay. Yay! Happy Canada Day yesterday. Yay, 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 yay. Okay. Who's here? Maybe you people can cheer me up. Hi, Jan. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Lydia. Hi, Lucy. Hello, KD. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Laura. Hello, Kay. Hi, Janet. Hi, Donna. Hey, fellas, how things? You know, really. Okay, I'm gonna start putting a restriction on telling us the temperature in different places. Have you ever noticed that when people come on to, and not just here, but everywhere? I have noticed this. Everybody starts off by saying, "Guess what? It's hot. Guess what? It's 98."
Yeah, but
Guess
isn't
what?
that the same thing as when you walk into an elevator? The first thing people say is, "Whoa, it's really hot outside."
I guess.
Whoa, it's really cold outside.
It must be a conversation starter, but I've just noticed this on any of the other lives I've gone on. Everybody starts with saying what their temperature
I had a
is.
friend though that used to a long time ago when I worked with wouldn't say that in an elevator. He'd say, "Hey, Walt, I found this really great gas station that's got gas really cheap.
Oh,
I'll tell you when we get off the elevator." And then you've got like 3 people following you.
I know. I don't know. It's something everybody uses, I guess, as an icebreaker or conversation starter, I guess. Did I say hello to Janet Lloyd? If I didn't, I did now. I think I said hello to Donna. Beverly's at 98. Sue's here. Hi, Sue.
We're 25 today.
Patsy says it feels like 111. It's 98, but it feels like 111. Mozilla is here. M's here. Hi, M. Derek's here. Hi, Derek. Colleen is here. What's Colleen saying? Hello, everyone. 1 day late for Happy Canada Day and 2 in advance for Happy Independence Day. Yeah, we're in between the major events in North America, I guess. Yes, air conditioning is a good thing. Brenda's here. Barb is here. Teresa's here. Both Teresas are here. Marilyn's here. Tamela is here. Carrie is here. Jeannie's here. Heidi's here. Hi, Heidi. So, Heidi, do you still have Dana with you? Sue, did I say hello to Sue? Only place I don't talk about the weather's in California where it's always the same. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Philippa is here. Sun hasn't risen yet because Philippa's in Brisbane. The other Cheryl is here. Did I say hi to Lucy? Shannon's here. Designing J, which is Johanna. She's here. Kristen's here. Heidi says, Jansu, Steve, everyone else, because I just realized that it will take me forever to type greetings. Yeah. It's Laird's. Okay. So, everybody's here. Well, that's good. On Canada, well, it's not Canada Day today, it was yesterday, but it's Canada Day weekend, and of course that's going to run right into July the 4th for the Americans, so happy July 4th to the Americans as well. Frances is here. She's listening while masking the ceiling and trim off, ready to finish painting, how to hook up the AC unit for this. Teresa's here. Okay, yeah, well, I started off this thing here not in a very good mood. So your job will be to cheer me up right now. Lucy and I, as I was saying, were having words. She was being a bitch. Of course, Walter eggs her on as well. Oh, that pattern you're doing that's really quite dense, isn't it? It'll soften up. when it hits the washing machine. Yes, I'm doing the Halloween quilt, and the pattern I picked, I did do a dry run with it first to see about spacing. It looked fine to me, but it is very, very, it's very Peter Burns in its density of its stitching. And for those of you, some of you will get that reference that I just made. And I think I'm going to take my headdress off now because it's messing up my hair. It's amazing what you can get at the dollar store for major holidays, isn't it? All kinds of goodies over there. And Walter's got himself a new hat, which he'll probably lose.
Actually, I think it's a lady's hat because it fits my head.
Oh, you're
better.
wearing a lady's hat. Are
Yeah.
you wearing ladies' things? Because you're a lady?
The men's hats were too big.
No. Oh, were they? Oh, I don't know. Your head's pretty big.
Yeah, I know. I think that it was pretty sizable head.
Yeah, well, really, yeah. Now you're just bragging. Diana's here. Hi, Diana. I mean Lucy with an E. Yes, not Lucy you. Unless you're over here doing a quilt for me. I don't mean you. Heidi said they had lunch at Cobbler's Lane Fudge Factory in Sussex, New Brunswick. So, Heidi, is Dana there at the moment with you or what? She sent me a picture of the two of you. She's been sending me pictures. If anybody doesn't know, Dana from Regina is traveling the East Coast. In fact, next week on Sunday, she's supposed to stop in here on her way back to Toronto. I think she catches a flight out on either Monday or Tuesday next week. I think it might be Tuesday, not this week coming, but the week after. So she's coming here for dinner with her traveling companion, her boy toy, or whatever. Not really sure about that one. She's a good friend of many years. Friends with benefits? Who knows? But anyways, they're supposed to come here for dinner. I'm not sure what time they'll blow in. If they blow in soon enough, I'll put them on the live next week. But we'll see how that works out. Barb says, guess what else you can get from the dollar store in Calgary? 3 Musketeer chocolate bars. Oh yeah, we were talking about that on Sean's thing. That's interesting because, well, actually, no, I have seen them in the dollar store here.
Actually, I haven't really looked for them because I don't
No.
usually eat chocolate bars that much.
But I was saying on Sean's show the other day, one chocolate bar we used to get here, but we can't get anymore. And I think they only have, I thought they only have them in the States, but this is proving me wrong. Were 3 Musketeers.
Yeah, but I thought 3 Musketeers was always a U.S.
Well, it was. It was always a U.S.
Because
chocolate
you
bar.
used to always get Nielsen's malted milk here.
Yeah, and they don't make that at all anymore.
No, I don't think so.
And I think Sean said that the 3 Musketeers in Australia are different than the 3 Musketeers in the States. I guess the 3 Musketeers in Australia have a layer of caramel on them.
So I wonder if they're like a Mars bar.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think the 3 Musketeers in the States doesn't have caramel on them. Does
No, it doesn't. It's more
No,
that fluffy
it's the
nougat
fluffy
something
stuff.
they call it.
it? Whereas the malted milk they used to have here had a thin layer of caramel in it.
Yeah.
But and then everybody started eating Mars bars because they had lots of caramel. in
Yeah.
them.
But anyways, we were talking on Sean's show yesterday. For those of you that you can see the replay, but I was his guest yesterday because I think I'm the only Canadian he knows. And so he thought it'd be appropriate to have a Canadian on for July the 1st. And we got talking about similarities, differences between the States and Canada. And one of the things we talked about were basically chocolate bars and things like that. And I was trying to remember what we call Smarties in Canada. They have something called Smarties, but they're what we call rockets.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I was having a mental block at the time trying to talk about those, and I was trying to describe what rockets were, and it wasn't ringing a bell for him. It might now. Now I can picture what it was that Americans call Smarties, which we call Smarties. They're like M&Ms. But anyways, so Lydia says Maltesers gross. Oh, I kind of like Maltesers.
I think we still can get. We used to get them when I was younger, and I think we could still get
You
them.
can still get them.
Like I said, I don't eat chocolate bars that often.
No, I don't either.
So I don't. It's not something I look for. So
Teresa says my day got off to a bad start. My Keurig only gave me hot water. Forgot to put coffee in the pot.
well, it could be worse. So it's do what Steve does. He just puts his cup in upside down underneath the coffee machine.
The hand is coming up. The fingers are going down.
And then he tries to
It's
figure out why it's full so fast.
Ah, you never do stupid things
Well, I've
because
never done that.
it wouldn't matter if you had done it because it wouldn't have been your fault. You would find a million other things to blame it on, none of which would have involved your name.
Yeah, Teresa says, aren't rockets the same as sweethearts?
Yeah, they're
Sort
like
of
them.
like that.
Yeah, like sweet tarts. Not they're actually called sweet tarts, not sweethearts. But they are in the shape of a. Oh no, you're right. I know what you're thinking of. Yeah, the ones that are round hearts, they got things. Yeah,
There's things written on them.
yeah, that's right. They are. Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I don't buy that kind of candy anymore, so I'm not sure what anything said. Frances says she needs to finish watching Sean's Live, but what I saw was very interesting. Yeah, I was trying to do some education about Canadian history on there. Somebody asked me if had been a history teacher, and I said no, but I took a lot of history in university and always liked history. And in fact, history was going to be my second teachable subject, but I really didn't want to teach history. I like history, but I didn't really want to teach it. And at that point in time, in 1980, when I went into teachers college, there was a new course that you could go into without any prerequisites called learning how to teach drama. So that was my second teachable. I became a drama teacher. Shirley's here. Hi, Shirley.
Yes. So Derek says, I think Three Musketeers is known as Milky Way.
In Australia. Okay,
Yeah.
that could be it. And the UK. Smarties are still popular here in the UK. But
Yeah,
Derek,
I think the Smarties in the UK are the same.
are the same as our Smarties. Yeah.
And yeah, and Jan says I agree with Jan. I don't like M&Ms as much as Smarties.
I don't mind M&Ms.
They're okay, but I'm not that
Smarties aren't
fond.
that easy to get anymore.
Sure, you can. You
What,
can get them all over the place. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't gone.
You can get them when you have Halloween. You get the Smarties with like three.
Oh, the one that has like 3. That's a big box. Usually there's only 2. Yeah. Scrunchian says you can paint your lips blue or purple or red with Smarties. Can't do that with M&Ms. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Do you eat the red ones last?
Yeah.
When you eat your Smarties, do you eat the red ones last? That was an old commercial for them. Pamela says, I've done that with my coffee cup too. Okay, see, it's a thing. It's an in thing. You should get on the bandwagon. Anybody who's anybody is turning their coffee cups upside down and pouring coffee into it. Right? Yeah, it's it's pretty. It's a little waterfall kind of a deal. Have to eat the red Smarties last. That's right, Teresa, you do. Joanna says, I've forgotten to put a coffee cup under my Keurig coffee all over the cup. Well, I've done that once or twice too. Yeah. Yeah, M&Ms, they've got them in all kinds of different flavors. I like the peanut M&Ms actually. They're my favorite.
I prefer Glossettes peanuts.
Well, I like Glossette peanuts too. I especially love Glossette chocolate covered raisins. Juicy chocolate covered raisins, which make Walter gag. But anyways, we talked about other things yesterday too, so do check it out if you didn't see it, because we had an interesting discussion comparing, well, it was kind of like comparing 3 cultures, because we had American and Sean's Australian, so we talked about Australia too, and Canada. So it's all there. Hi, Shelley. Diana says only the orange Smarties have a flavor.
I never noticed that.
I've never noticed that. No. We'll have to get a bag of Smarties and test it out and see. So, what have I been working on besides cursing and swearing at Lucy? Well, I got my... I got the wrong bloody picture. Shoot. Okay.
What about the one below it?
No, that's okay. Well, I'm going to show you this anyways, but I'm showing it next week on Idiot Quilter, the finished one. I got the wrong picture in here, but let me just, where's my buttons? Hit the button. Okay. This is the Halloween table runner that's done in the hoop. This is all the pieces. I now have all the pieces together, and I have and all sewn up. Yeah, I'm going to show it to you. I can find it in, just bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk to Walter. He's lonely. Not much. We are going to talk about Walter's shed as well. I hate Max. I really do. First of all, I can't find my mouse. Do you see my mouse?
Wiggle it around quick. There it is.
Okay. Where's my pictures? There's my pictures. All right. There it is. Of course, it's sideways. Flip it around. Okay. I have found the picture of the finished Halloween table runner. And here it be. That's what it looks like finished.
With your toe.
With my toe. You know, next week, if I'm on here by myself, you'll know that I have just got, and I have dirt on my hands. It means I just finished burying his body in the backyard. So anyways, that's what it looks like when you get it all together. And I'm going to offer it to my sister. Because she's into Halloween and stuff and that, and see if she wants it. I think I have another one that I made a year ago or something. I'm pretty much done with the Halloween stuff now for this year, I think. But anyways, I got that done, and let's get rid of that, and let's go up here. And here's the other thing, and I finished the top. I have not finished. I haven't put it on Lucy yet. Thank God I didn't start with this today on Lucy. But that's the new Quilts of Valor panel and the fabric. And I bought it as a kit at the quilt show in Halifax. And this one was not designed by Patty Carey of Patty's Patchwork. I made sure of that because you know the hell I've went through with her other two. And the other two were both Canadian themed as well. Nope, this was somebody else, and it went together very well. No problems whatsoever. All the measurements were accurate in the instructions. So, yeah, I got to figure out how I'm going to quilt it. I might attempt to do custom on it with the quilt path. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see what I can figure out if Lucy and I are on talking terms at that point. So that's what I've been up to. And just before we move over to talk about Walter, let us go here and see what people are saying at the moment. Lucy has me all disgruntled here. Okay, there's lots going on here. Try to catch up. Okay, we talked about the orange Smarties only having flavor. Jan likes glossaries. Jan likes glossaries too. Well, she is well read.
Lots of that.
I know. Spell checker got you, or you just spelled it that way because you didn't know how to spell it the other way, but I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. You can't pop the Smarties tubes anymore.
Well, see, we never got them in tubes. Actually, only for, I think, special occasions. We had, our Smarties came in a square box.
Yeah, they just came in.
Actually, I don't know what they come in now. They might come in a little bag.
Yeah, they might. Well, they have them. You can get the big bags of Smarties now, but they're a Smartie. But yeah, the tubes were only used to come out at Christmas time.
Yeah, Christmas
with
time.
the Smarties in the tube. Mozilla forgot to put a coffee filter in last week. Needless to say, there was coffee grounds on it and water all over the counter. Oh, I've done that too. Hi, Linda. It changed. It's glossettes. It didn't change it in the spell checker. You just spelled it wrong. Barb says we still have Olive Garden in Calgary. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday too, about restaurants. Some American restaurants that have come here and just didn't do so well. And one of those was Olive Garden. Actually did very well when it first came here to Ontario.
I think actually I read somewhere, and I can't remember exactly what it was, that it had something to do with the ownership of not how that it wasn't doing well. It was just the ownership of the company. Somehow it wasn't working out or something.
Yeah. Well, apparently,
it was poor management.
Well, we don't have any Olive Gardens that I know of in Ontario anymore. But Barb says there's one in Calgary. So there you go. However, the last time I went to an Olive Garden, and this is quite a while ago, and it was in the States, in Michigan, and that's when I went with Carol for that show, and I was not impressed.
Actually, we went about when we were in going to Florida. That was almost 10 years ago. stopped at an Olive Garden and we didn't like it either.
No,
So,
it was like it had changed. I
well, I
don't
think
know.
it's our tastes had changed.
Well, that could be too. I
we
don't
we
know.
started going to a couple of restaurants in this area that's more authentic
Then Olive
Italian
Garden.
food.
Yeah.
So once you have that, it's
Yeah,
sort of
Olive Garden is just basically the one step up from a fast food Italian restaurant. But I did like their breadsticks.
yeah.
You know, that's what they're famous for. Hi, Andy. Hi, Elsie. Um, see, Teresa says that's why Lucy's acting up. She's telling you the squares already have enough thread. Yeah, probably. Uh, yeah, we just did that. Jan put up the flag and stuff. Again, dollar store finds. It's amazing what you can find in the dollar store. Nope, no cake. And if there was going to be anything, it would be pie, because that's my favorite food group. You know that. But of course, Walter didn't make pie. We used to save the Smarties tops to spell our names. I'll bet you used to play catch with a rock too, Lucy. Just kidding. Lucy says you can choose to crop your pictures or Walter. Your choice. I don't understand, Lucy.
Yeah, you could have tried. You could have fixed your picture by cutting your toe out.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that it was in there. What makes you think it's my toe? It may have just been a random toe. We collect those. Derek says I was in town today and realized they are building a Tim Hortons in Aberdeen. Think they are starting to open in various cities in Scotland. Saw one in Belfast too.
Yeah, because Tim Hortons now is not just Canadian.
No.
It was bought out by, I think, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's Restaurant Brands that also owns things like Burger King and stuff like
They
that.
own all kinds.
So it's not unusual to see them. In fact, when we were in Ireland the year that you retired, that was 7 years ago?
Try 11.
11 years ago.
Yeah.
When we were in Ireland, there was a Tim Hortons in Belfast. So
So yeah, but you know, quite frankly, Tim Hortons coffee I do not like. It's like it's like wringing out a dish rag, but people are addicted to it.
It's okay, but it's not, well, it's not Starbucks. It's okay. It's better. I think it's better than Dunkin' Donuts in the US. Just slightly better. But a lot of people here really go for it, and it's okay. But actually, I prefer the McDonald's coffee. But
yeah, actually, I don't mind the McDonald's coffee, except why do they have to make their coffee the same heat as the surface of the sun? I mean, you have to let it sit and cool for like half a day before you can actually get your lips on it.
So people don't complain that it's not hot enough.
Well, it's hot enough. Real hot. Like nothing's going to grow in that coffee for sure. Teresa says Canada red velvet cheesecake from Costco is amazing. Yes, it probably would be because it's cheesecake and I love cheesecake. Thanks, Jan. Yeah, Elsie, it's a nice pattern. In fact, that pattern, as of when I bought it at the quilt show, they said they hadn't released it to the stores yet, but I think it is now on its way because I've seen some things online where you can get it. But actually, what I saw was you could get it as a kit. I couldn't find the pattern separate, but I'm sure they will have the pattern very soon for that. Heidi says, only the most talented quilters include their toes, slippers when photographing their work. Isn't that right, Stephen? You're right, Heidi. That's why you're my best friend right now. Sorry, Jan. And I just hit a button here to see. Oh, Glenna's here. Hi, Glenna. Marianne is here. Hi, Marianne. Marianne keeps saying things but retracting them. So I don't know what she's doing. Oh, geez. There's a lot of stuff happening here. I can't keep up. Anna's here. Hello, Anna. Holy crap. You people are writing more than I can keep up with. Okay. People love the fabric. Ready for Christmas in July now? Yeah. I've been thinking about that. Well, yeah, Francis, because it's been put together now. um, Christine says, greetings from Charlestown, Maryland. I'm late to the party. Yeah, well, better late than never, I guess. Um, Derek says, my colleague is still fighting with her Patty Patchwork quilt. I enjoy the range of swear words she has learned over the last week or so. See, it isn't just me. Okay, just in case any of you were saying, oh, it's just Steve, he does things wrong all the time. It's not just me. Okay. And Lucy says, those are the big tubes at Christmas. We had small tubes. Now hexagonal boxes, tube shape. Oh, yeah, we don't have that yet. Biscuits and gravy aren't a Canada thing, only in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, we're still talking about those Smarties. We started something. And Andy said she would only go to Olive Garden for the breadsticks and the salad. Yeah, actually, I love the breadsticks, and their salad was good too. That came with it. Marianne says it used to be great in the U.S. And Barb always gets the traditional double-double. I don't, because I don't like sugar in my coffee.
No, I always get black.
Teresa, I agree with that. They put crack in Tim's coffee so you keep coming back. Yeah, it's like a drug. People are absolutely addicted to it. Andy says, hey, don't badmouth Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It's the only brand I can drink that doesn't upset my stomach.
Well, actually, I've only had it a couple of times. I mean, we don't have Dunkin' Donuts in Canada, as far as I know. So,
yeah.
So the only time I've had it is when we were in the U.S. And I guess
that's it. It was.
I just thought the coffee was kind of watery. That's all.
Yeah. Of course, we are spoiled with our little coffee maker.
Yeah.
Heidi says Dana left and is en route to Charlottetown. So next time we'll see her, there's probably a picture of her with Colleen.
Mm-hmm.
Jan's not an original thinker. She's just retracing our steps
through
that. She's just following the pilgrimage that we took. Yeah. Hi, Janice. Per your review, I took a sip of the Temu Kool-Aid. Yeah, how you liking it, Anna? Actually, it's not bad. I mean, I haven't ordered a lot of stuff from them, but the stuff I have ordered, I've been happy with the exception of the fabric. And I just saw somebody did a video. It's not somebody I follow on a regular basis, so I can't remember what their name was, but they did a whole quilt using just the Temu fabrics that she bought. And it didn't look bad. I don't know how well it'll hold up, but, it didn't look bad.
Description says Montreal has Dunkin'.
Oh, do they?
Well, if they have Dunkin', I bet you there's one in Toronto. So
yeah, there probably is somewhere. Lucy doesn't drink coffee, so she doesn't know. Yes, Jan says, it's been confirmed. Jan says there is a Dunkin' Donuts here in Canada. Okay.
I just haven't noticed it. I guess I'm just mesmerized at how many Tim Hortons places are.
And Elsie's making up words. DD is Kapui. Kapui. Oh, like
Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, okay. Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, we got a lot of mileage out of that. So let's talk about what Walter's been working on. Well, he should have been working on my shirt.
Yeah.
But we know because Walter had a little... Oh, here's something, though, I just want to bring up. Yesterday on Sean's program, I did a little mini trunk show, and I was showing some of the quilts I've made over the last few years that are Canadian themed. And this was one that I had done. And, of course, it's a paper piecing one. And somebody asked me, I think it was Catherine Anderson, I've already sent her an email, and she wanted to know what the pattern was. So I had to look it up because I couldn't remember either, but it was a special one put out by Tamara Kate, and I think she put it on the occasion of our 150th anniversary of Canada. And it looked good when I got it done, but it was a bit of a bitch, only because it was a lot of pieces and organizing your fabrics to get that rainbow effect, and that's what mine looked like too. But I thought, I do have a link to this pattern in the show notes. It's still available, it looks like. You can download it as a PDF. but she wanted to know, so I just thought I'd share that information with everybody else. Okay, there's Walter's car.
It's the blue-green one.
Yeah, not the white one.
Yep.
The old lady did a really nice job on him. If you see that intersection, I think I got another picture here. There it is on the tow truck. So, yep. Look at his front. Actually, that picture doesn't show it too. I don't know if the other picture show it. This wheel was bent, the rim and everything. And you can see how the hood is off and the side and the whole bit. The tow truck guy says, yeah, that's a write-off. He says,
my airbags on the curtain airbags went off too. That was a different experience.
You said it felt fluffy.
Well, it did sort of feel fluffy. All of a sudden, this thing was hitting me in the side of the head that I wasn't sure what that was. And then at some point in time, I did realize it was the airbag. So,
yeah. So, anyways, yeah, so that car is now bye-bye. But Walter bought a new car. He's still shaking.
Well, I put deposit down. I'm not getting it for a couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, because there was a color he wanted. They didn't have that.
Well,
color.
no, it's not just that. No, it's I just because of the insurance hadn't got back to me yet and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's an expensive new car, but all cars are expensive. But what you got? You got a CRV.
I got that car that was hit was a Honda CRV EXL model, and I got a Honda CRV hybrid model.
So, and it's got all kinds of buzzers and bells in it.
Lots of things to go wrong.
And for me, because my car's 14 years old, like he had to drive my car before he got the rental car. And he's in there looking, and I go, yeah, it has a key. You have to put it in. You have to turn it. And where's your air conditioning? It doesn't work. It's called windows. Those go down. Those are electric, though. They're not crank. And, well, where's the backup camera? Don't have one of those. You have to use your head. Mm-hmm. And, the seat. How do you adjust the seat? Oh, there's a little bar. You pull the little bar up. Yeah, it's not an automatic thing. And all kinds of other little things that, my car is pre the big electronic thing. Now, this car of yours has got what? Oh, the first thing he says is, yeah, it's got a really nice stereo system. Yes, we plan to sit out in the car to listen to music all the time.
I always like nice stereo systems.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
And what else has it got? It's got a heated steering wheel.
Mm-hmm. And heated seats. And heated back seats.
And heated back seats, like we have a lot of people in the back seat. Yeah. It's got plug-ins for your USB gadgets all over it. It's got a navigation system in it. Yeah, it sounds like it pretty much.
No, I just hope I don't get hit again.
Yeah, yeah, really. So he's got this rental car that stinks.
Yeah, it literally stinks. It was deodorized by some cheap deodorizer, and it makes me nauseous every time I get into it.
I haven't been in it yet, and because he's talking about how bad it smells in there. And it's also, what is it? It's a
Mitsubishi.
That's it.
Outlander. It's really cheap inside, and it drives okay. The car doesn't drive too bad, but the car doesn't drive too bad. But it smells inside. They deodorized it with something, and it's really gross smell. Though I got in it today, and maybe the smell's dissipating or I'm getting used to it. But the couple of times I got in it and I wanted to get right back out of it because it smells so bad.
Yeah, so I haven't been in it yet. And
yeah, I got a blue color car. I could have gotten the gray. There's a new gray color out. That actually was unusual. I didn't really necessarily want to get another Honda. I mean, the Honda I had was fine. I liked it. But I kind of always wanted a RAV4, a Toyota RAV4. But right now, the Toyota RAV4s are so hard to get that if you want a brand new one, I have to wait till the end of the year to get one. And if I wanted a hybrid one, I would have to wait till next spring to get one. So that was just off the table.
Yeah.
So, and then it just so happened, and apparently I talked to a couple other places, and it's the same thing. A lot of their cars are out of stock, and they have to put one on order or on hold, and you're lucky if you can get one in a month or two. So, or you get them at the end of the year or something like that. There's just no availability of cars. And the Toyota dealership said to me, well, I could buy a last year's model car that was used that has some mileage on it, but they were asking $10,000 more than the list price.
Mm.
And I don't know, but I'm not doing that one. It's used. It's a previously used car, and it is got. And not that that's a big thing, but they're asking more money for it, a lot more money for it than if you bought a brand new one.
Yeah. But my father always told me, and I've always lived by it. My father said, never buy a used car. You're buying somebody else's problems. But I know there are people out there that have really good luck buying a used car.
Well, right now the used cars are really expensive here. So like you buy a used car and it's got a lot of mileage on it, and you're paying only about 10,000 below list price. So I don't really see the point of buying the used car with the way used cars are priced right now.
Yeah. So anyway, in a couple of weeks we'll have
Because even
a new car.
my old car, if I wanted to buy a replacement of exactly the same car, but actually would have more mileage on it, right now I would have to pay $23,000 for that car. And my car was 9 years old, so
Yeah. So anyways, I guess you wanted a new car. You've been talking about it. It's just
well, I wanted a new car, but that's not the way I
just
wanted
didn't
it.
want to really do it
Actually,
this way.
I had intended to keep my current car for for a few more years.
Till they came out with the flying ones.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
don't know
Okay.
because I mean, my car was running fine. It was in really good shape. It still drove really good, and I mean, I was really ticked off that this accident occurred. I was lucky that I
Yes.
wasn't hurt with it because all I got was a scratch
A little boo boo.
on my elbow, and I have a couple of small bruises on my stomach, and I have an abrasion on my knee.
So.
But other than that, I mean, I know that when I got out of the car, I was pretty shaken up because
Yeah, he's pretty stunned.
I didn't see it coming, and
He never did.
and then and then I guess my whole face, because the airbags went off, my whole face turned red on the one side, and they kept asking me if I felt okay and all this other stuff because I could have had a concussion. And but it took me a few seconds to get over it. What was interesting was I have a brand new iPhone 14 Pro, and it has an SOS feature on it, and
Yeah.
it went off. It detected the accident and called 911 and contacted Steve. And
Yeah.
the only thing was I couldn't figure out how to turn it back.
No, and so this thing comes up on my. First of all, it came up on my watch, right? Because my iWatch is connected to my phone, kind of thing. I'm looking at it, and it says, "Walter's car has been in an accident. Emergency assistance has been contacted." And I look at it for a minute and go, "No." And then I went on my phone, and my phone showed where he was located. There was a map and everything, and it kept saying that he'd been in an accident. So I thought, well, my first thing was the phone's telling me the wrong stuff, because on your iWatch there's a setting or something on there that if you make a sudden movement and change your elevation or something, it thinks you have fallen. It says, "We've detected that you have fallen. Should we call emergency assistance," or something like that? And I go, "No, I haven't fallen, you stupid thing. I'm still upright." So that was my first reaction. And then I thought, then the phone rang, and it was him on the phone. And I'm going, he says, "Yeah, I've had an accident." So I go, "Hello? Are you all right?" He goes, "Yeah, well, I had an accident." And I went, "Okay, he's in shock." And I said, "Well, where are you?" "I'm at the Costco in Ritson." Ritson's the road that Costco's on in our town, kind of a thing. And I said, okay, well, I'll be down in just a couple of minutes. Now, then I could hear voices, but he's not talking anymore, but the phone is still connected. I'm going, Walter, 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 Walter.
Yeah, well, I couldn't hear anything. It was just I couldn't hear. There's people talking all around me, and
so I'm thinking, oh God, he's just passed out. He's laid out on the ground or something here. So I grab my keys and put on my shoes and turn off my iron and turn off the lights and cooked a little lunch and made the bed and did some laundry. No, and then I hop in the car and I go shooting off. Well, you see, there are 2 Costco's in our city.
One's on Ritson Road and one's on Simcoe Street.
Yeah, I know. But we always go to the one on Simcoe Street. It's north of us. We used to go to the other one, but we go to this one. My brain goes, okay, I know where he is. I go zipping up Ritson Road, because Ritson Road runs pretty much the full length of our city. I go zipping up there. I get almost to the Costco up, but it's the wrong Costco. And I go, wait. No. He means the other Costco down there. So I go zipping around. There's a roundabout kind of a thing. I go in there and go, like on a roller coaster, and go zipping back down Ritson Road. And don't I hit every red light? Every red light. And there's a lot of lights down that road. So I'm getting down. I finally get down by the Costco, and I'm trying to see where he is. And I can't see anything, but I see an ambulance. And I go, uh-oh, I better not go any further down this way, because they probably got traffic all blocked off and I'll be stuck in the traffic, and I'm not sure where exactly he is. So I pull into Costco, and my plan was to come out onto the street that the lady that hit Walter came out of. And then I see it. When I get, there was some obstructions in the way, and then I see, oh, there it is. Okay. So I do a U-E on that street, and I go back up into Costco parking, and I walk down the rest of the way, and by that time, the cops already talked to him, and the cop was talking to the old lady who...
Yeah, well, what happened was I was driving north on this street called Ritson Road. It's 4 lanes across. So there's 2 lanes going south and 2 lanes going north. So I'm on the inside lane, going north. The intersection that I got hit on was a weird intersection. It has stoplights right at the intersection, but they're only for traffic going north and south, right? There's a minor street that goes east and west, and that street has a stop sign at it, right? Which is really stupid.
It's a bad intersection.
Okay, so I'm going north through the green light, and a woman coming out of the street that has the stop sign hits me really hard as I'm passing through the intersection. The stupid thing is she was in the intersection at the stop sign, stopped, trying to get across the road. And which is 4 lanes. Which is 4 lanes. And there is a black SUV to one side of her, right? To the one side of her. And she's trying to look around this black SUV to see what was oncoming traffic, right? And she said, in her own words, I couldn't see beyond the car next to me if there was any traffic coming. So I thought I would just gun it.
And take my
chances to get across the road.
Yeah, I remember that paragraph in the new driver's handbook. When in doubt, gun it. And
so she gunned it right into the side of my car.
I mean, it's a good thing that she wasn't going... I mean, she gunned it, but there wasn't enough...
Well, she left it from the stop on the one side and gunned it across 2 lanes, and she hit me. So whatever force that was.
Yeah, with it. But it could have been like worse if she had been coming down and went, say, through a red light or something and doing 60 kilometers an hour or something like that.
That would have been a lot worse.
That would have been a lot worse. So, I mean, yeah. But she was so nonchalant about the whole thing. I mean, the cop had his job.
Yeah, like actually, she must have been in shock too. But she's.
I have a feeling that was
trying to. After she got out of the car, people were helping her more than they were helping me because I was just standing there. She was she couldn't get out her driver's side door. The whole front of her car was obliterated, but she couldn't get out of her driver's side door either. I couldn't get out of mine. I had to slide over to the passenger side to get out. And she had to do the same thing. Well, anyway, she was sitting in the passenger side for a bit. And a bunch of people had come out of houses that were close by and stuff like that, that had, and there was an ex-cop there and that too that was helping out. And, and, or off-duty cop that was helping out. And um, they were consoling her because I figured she was about 80, if not, or whatever, and somewhat frail looking. People asked me how I was, and I said I'm fine. I said I'm in shock. That's all. And so anyway, I mean, I didn't get mad at her or yell at her. Or
Well,
anything
pointless
like
at that point to do it, although I would have liked to have wrung her neck.
But then after a while we're waiting for the police actually the police came pretty quick, and the fire engine came really quick, and the ambulance came really quick. But she started suddenly wanting to be my friend, and I'm going, I really don't want to talk to you.
Well, Lucy said, did she say sorry?
She says, oh, it's all, well, what she did say is, oh, it's all my fault. It's all my fault.
And then she told
she told the cop exactly what she did,
which was what we just told you said. So I mean, pretty much cut and dry as to who's at fault, right?
And she said, he said to her, well, he ended up charging her with careless driving. She goes to me. She walks over to me on the one side and looks at my passenger side, and she says, oh, your car didn't look like it got much damage. I said, that's not the side that's been hit. It's the other side. Then she wanders over to the other side, goes, oh my, did I do that?
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, the car's been taken away, got a new one on order, waiting for the insurance to tell us what's going to happen there. May have to fight with them a little bit, more than likely, with it all. So anyways, we'll see what happens next. Oh, Dana's here. Hi, Dana. She's just outside Moncton, New Brunswick today. Okay, saw your pictures today, Dana. Looks like you're having a good time. Heidi says drivers like that are why I'd rather deal with farm tractors. Yeah, you hit a farm tractor though. That's a biggie. Marilyn says an old lady like that hit me too, but she left the scene. The cops found her. She didn't even know what she hit. Dementia. Sounds like your lady should not be driving as well. Well, the thing was, when Walter was still dealing with the tow truck driver, she comes over to me, and yeah, there was an urge inside of me to put my hands around her neck and not to give her a hug, kind of a thing. But I didn't. I refrained. And she says something. Well, she says, I just got the car serviced. Her dealership was right across the road, and I think that's where she was coming from when she hit Walter. And then she says, and I think she said this to me, yeah, I just got my certification for my license again. So she's got to be, they do that at 80 here. So yeah, didn't pass that. You must, what was that?
I think she's had some
I think she's
problems.
got some issues.
And I don't think she should have been driving.
No. I mean, I feel kind of sorry for her. But, on the other hand, it could have been a lot worse. She could have killed herself too. Could have killed.
She could have killed somebody that was walking across the road too. So.
I mean, that is a really bad intersection, but nevertheless, she was definitely in the wrong with that one. Janice says, I know that scared the hell out of you, Stephen. I'm so glad Walter's okay. Okay, you can believe that. I'd still be shaking even after all this time. Well, actually, it's been a weird week for both of us. It's been a little surreal. And, when you're not planning, well, who plans for an accident, right? You don't. But, it's just weird. You're kind of thinking, oh, well, that's changed our life. But I keep looking at it from the point of view, yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Cars can be replaced, but not people. So, Oh, Dana's off to Cornwall and PEI. Where's Cornwall and PEI? Are you taking the ferry or are you going over the bridge, Dana? Hi, Priscilla. Teresa says, wait until you get the bill for emerge services. Not sure if they bill residents, but most cities charge out of towners. My son's was over 300. There won't be a charge for emergency services. So. No. That kind of thing's covered by our.
Well, not only that, if there is a charge, then it'll go to insurance. So.
Yeah. She won't get her license back now if she's 80 and has dangerous driving charge. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, she said it was. No, she didn't get dangerous. She got careless.
She got careless. She's careless. Yeah, careless driving. With it's what the cops said they charged her with. Yeah, so that was fun. But on a more positive note, Walter got his new shed.
I know. It was a day I got hit with a car a day before my shed was coming.
Yeah.
So actually, I didn't really want to. I actually at that point in time, I was a little bit more than wanted to do it at the time. But anyway, it came.
But anyways, there's the shed. They built it. They've got it all up there. It's all nice little shed. There's another shot of it. Walter's he shed. There he is in this little pig's house. I just can't. That picture I just think of the three little pigs. I don't know why. On there. Walter, new homeowner. He is getting a ramp built.
Actually, the company that put it in is called Steve's Sheds, right? And the next door neighbor said, "Oh, you got Steve a shed."
Because they put a sign on our front lawn. You know how they do to advertise their services? He went, yeah, what was he implying by that? This is the inside of the shed. You'll notice how it's furnished in a minimalist kind of way. But yeah, so lots of space for Walter to do whatever he wants to do. Don't start talking about drywall and wallpaper. I don't think that's in the plan here. But yeah, they did a nice job of that. It's just too bad we had other things this week too.
Yeah.
To kind of overshadow.
It came sort of in a prefab situation, and they put it together. They put it together in 2 hours. For the structure, and the next day they came and put the vinyl siding on it.
Now, when they were building it, the wild turkeys all came over to the fence to watch. I think the turkeys thought, oh, look, they've built us a new home. How nice. And then I think they were being checked out. Birds were looking at it going, ooh.
A giant birdhouse.
We could go in
there. Yeah, especially the first day. It was just the shell that got put up. And the windows hadn't been put in yet. And the birds are probably eyeing it for a birdhouse.
Yeah, I knew this would come up, and I'm expecting that, Julie, you're just trying to be funny. How are you going to decorate it? You know, women see a shed, and they immediately think...
It's going to be decorated with shovels and...
things hanging on the wall.
And
lawnmower.
Lawnmower. And they're supposed to be building me a ramp, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to turn it into a tiny house and make it a B&B, Airbnb.
Yeah, Janice says, my uncle used to tell me all the time, drive like everybody is out to get you, and that's no lie because they drive like stupid out there. Well, you know, the thing is now we get into the car and we're...
Yeah, now I'm shell-shocked.
You know, like, someone coming out, watch out, there's a side street over there, who's going to dart out there? Watch out for that. I mean, you get a little paranoid out of it. But you're right, Janice. You do have to. I think the
actually, I haven't been able to drive by that intersection after.
Oh, traumatic there. Andy says, turn it into a tiny house and use it as Airbnb. Yeah. Well, we could be like the White Cottage.
Yeah, company. And they can jump the fence and use the outhouse.
Yeah, there you go. So they've got bathroom facilities only 100 yards away.
We have a Camp Samac behind us, and they have an outhouse.
Julie says a couple little window boxes and brightly painted shutters would be great.
No. I'd have to water the plants.
We're not feminizing it. Landscape around it, it's got grass.
Yeah, probably. I want to close in the bottom of it so that skunks don't decide to make it its home.
Because that's no guarantee the skunks won't dig under because skunks are
I know. Well, I'll have to do some stuff to keep things from digging under.
Yeah. Julie says women all look at them like they're doll houses. Yeah. True. Derek says, I wonder if you would insulate it to protect your stored equipment from the cold.
No, all my stored equipment is in the garage in an unheated garage right now. So
Yeah, so that
what
won't
difference
matter.
does it make?
Yeah. I mean, somebody suggested too that, well, what about lighting and all that kind of stuff? Well, you can get,
I can get one of those LED lights
yeah.
that comes on if I want. Right now it has two windows so you can see inside
I
it.
mean, I do have a brother-in-law that's very capable of possibly wiring it and burying the cable underground in the whole bit for it, but
I don't.
I don't
I
think.
have no.
Well, you're not using it as a workshop.
No, I'm
You're
not.
using it as a storage shed.
Yeah.
And it's making the neighbors jealous. And that's why he's got it. Lucy says, hooks for all the handles of your spades, etc. My dad outlined the tools with pens so we know where to replace them. Yeah,
I'm not anal for
that's
it.
a really good idea, but that's not what's going to happen with Walter. No.
I have the tools hanging up in the garage.
Uh-huh. Yeah, whatever. He says, a woman I would store firewood or motorcycles in there. Decor shamor. I know what you mean.
Sure.
Yeah, rhyming with decor. Decor shamorg. Okay. If you had clad it, Julie says, in wood instead of vinyl siding, you could have painted it like a gypsy wagon. Yeah, vinyl siding is because Walter doesn't want to have to paint it.
That's exactly why it's vinyl sided.
It's called low maintenance.
It's like, I don't want to have to paint it. It's bad enough it has shingles on it. So.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, that was a good thing last week for that. Okay, so you all know that I was on Sean's, Brekkie with Sean, and I already mentioned that. And we've talked about the accident and the new car. Okay, so here's something. Okay, we got talking about this on Sewing with Stephanie and Steven, and I was surprised at that there are people out there, and when I say people, I mean Americans, who really don't understand exchange rates. So we had a little mini lesson on there about what it really costs. Did you hear us talking about what things cost to get here in Canada from the States? And it involves the exchange rate. And we pay 30%, 33% more for something that's priced in American dollars. And also shipping. Because somebody mentioned too, well, yeah, but so yeah, has $20 shipping.
That's $20
American shipping. That's about $27 Canadian for it. Okay.
Yeah, because we also said that a lot of American people seem to hear the word dollar and all they think of is American dollars.
But we have dollars.
We have,
but
Canadian
they're not American.
Dollars,
they're Canadian
but
dollars.
They're worth less than American dollars.
And Australians have dollars, but they're Australian dollars.
So when we buy something in the U.S., we have to pay in American dollars.
Yeah.
And it has to be changed to Canadian dollars for us to actually pay it, right? So if I buy something for $100 in American funds, then I'll probably have to pay $130 in Canadian funds for the same thing.
Yeah. And Julie says, true, we don't understand exchange rates. You need to. If you do any kind of traveling outside of the United States or outside of your country, you have to know how much it's going to cost you, because yes, you can pay in American dollars in some countries in the world, and in some cases you'll get a much better deal, like here in Canada.
Yeah, like even some of our border cities will accept American dollars in some of the stores, right? If you want to pay in American dollars, but they'll give you a really bad exchange rate for your American dollars. You're much better off paying by credit card or paying getting an exchange by going to the bank or something like that and exchanging your American dollars for Canadian dollars. Because a lot, like I asked one place, I saw that normally $1 American dollar would be $1.30 Canadian type of thing. And if you go and use your American dollars in a store, they'll only give you $1.15 for it. Yeah. Or something like that.
So yeah, someone asked, is here Julie says, can you explain duty taxes? Well, it's basically a tax. It's we're supposed to have something called free trade with the Americans, but that only
It's
applies
supposed
to certain things.
it's supposed to apply to products that are made in the U.S., right? However, that still doesn't work because Lucy was made in the
Yep,
U.S.
and I had to
and we
pay.
still had to pay duties on her when
Yep,
she came across the border,
it's a tax. It's
and
basically a
it's
tax.
basically 13%. So we
Yeah,
have to pay 13% more for anything. And so if you buy something for $100 American in the U.S., it changes it to $130 Canadian when it comes across the border. And then we have to pay 13% on top of that 130 Canadian
yeah.
to actually receive the product.
So this is why I'm always saying, oh yeah, I'd like to order that, but it's too expensive because we have all these other things we have to pay on it. And really, as Americans, if you find a deal on fabric in Canada at a fabric store and you look at what their shipping is, add that all up and then take about 30% off that total. That's what you're going to pay. You're getting a 30%
Yeah, like
discount.
for instance, something simple. Actually, the only deal we really have right now, very good, is Orifil thread.
Yeah.
Orifil thread at our local dealer is $17 Canadian for a spool. And
So that's about
for
$14
their large
American.
spool. Yeah, that's about $14 American.
But if you go to a site like monfil.ca, you'll get it for even less than
Yeah,
that.
I think they charge about $13.
About $13 a spool
Yeah.
for the regular size, like the large spool, the 1300 meter spools
Yeah,
that was on
something
it.
like that.
Yeah, with that. So you should take advantage of that because right now, at the difference between what our dollars
Yeah,
and
so
your
like if
dollars,
shipping says it's $30, you're really only paying $20 American for shipping. So
yeah. So it's a good deal for you, and I don't think you get nailed with duty the same as we
no,
do.
we get nailed with duty on almost everything.
Yeah. So yeah, you should look into it. You can probably get some bargains. Let's see here.
Yeah, see, Colleen says about 15% in Atlantic provinces. In Ontario, it's 13%.
Yeah. So yeah, it varies from province to province, as well. Yes, Julie, you're right. That's robbery.
Yeah, so if you hear us say, oh, a meter of fabric is like $20 or $22, that's not $22 American dollars.
That's Canadian.
That's $22 Canadian dollars,
That's
which
about,
is, hang on.
Oh, you've got your calculator.
Yeah.
As of today's rate, because it changes, it fluctuates. I know someone mentioned that from day to day.
Yeah, if we buy fabric for $22 Canadian, it is actually $16.61 American.
Yeah, so you're saving almost $8. No, $6.
Yeah,
$6 on that. So, yeah, you should be shopping some Canadian stores because you're going to save some money. Now, I know there are places in the States though where fabric is really, really cheap. And Heidi, you said Dana bought some in Maine. What did she pay? Do you know? And did she pay it is this in Canadian dollars or American dollars? Yes, Lucy, fabric is sold by the yard in the USA though. However, you're talking a difference of 3 inches. Okay? So if you buy a meter of fabric, a true meter of fabric in Canada, for Americans, that means you're getting a yard plus 3 inches for it. So it's even a better deal at that.
Yeah, right now it's $1.25. Right now, $1 Canadian is worth 75 cents US.
What's that? The
$1 Canadian right now is worth 75 cents US.
Yeah, okay. So 25 cents on the dollar. Actually, that's pretty good because it's been less than that.
Actually, it's the other way around. It said 75 cents US, but if you $1 US dollar here says it's $1.32 Canadian.
Yeah, so it's 32 cents more.
32 cents more.
More, yeah, with it. So yeah, it's expensive. Julie says it's a bit of a mind bender to try to figure out both metric meter and exchange rate dollars to compare fabrics in US versus
Well, you
Canada.
just divide everything by inches, right?
Yeah.
So if you have fabric in Canada and you want to change it to yards, you take 20, let's say $22 a meter, divide it by 39, and then you multiply it by 36. So 22 a meter Canadian meter of fabric is actually 20-30 Canadian.
Yeah. Julie says I thought a meter was smaller than a yard. No, Julie. Oh, Julie, you're going to have a lot of problem with measurements and money exchange. No, it's 39 inches equal 1 meter. Okay. There's 36 inches in a yard. So it's 3 inches more. So a meter is not smaller than a yard. It's actually larger. Now, that works in reverse when you're talking about kilometers. Okay. There's 1.6 kilometers. Well, no, it works the same way in a mile. Okay. So when you see mileage here, okay, it's, if you go to 0.6 of a mile, that's a meter. That's a, yeah, not a meter. That's a kilometer. Sorry, kilometer.
What did you just say?
I don't know. I'm all confused now.
One mile is 1.6
kilometers. Yeah. So there's more kilometers.
If you're going 40 miles an hour, that's the same as going 60 kilometers.
No, let's talk distance, not speed. Okay. So if
you're going 40 kilometers, then it's 60.
No, let's.
Going 40 miles.
I know. Let's stop mixing oranges with lemons. Okay. On here, when Americans come up and they see our signs for how far a place is, and they see like Kingston, Oshawa to Kingston, okay, is 200 and some kilometers. All right. Then that's not miles that they're seeing. Okay. That's kilometers. So mile wise, do your conversion.
Now you're getting me confused.
Well, it's 1.6 kilometers per mile.
Right.
So I don't know. Now we're getting into heavy math.
That's about 120 miles.
Yeah. It's not as far as it sounds. Although I always find when we drive in the States and I see the signs that are giving me miles, it seems like forever before you get 1 mile under your belt. But anyways, it does get confusing. There's no two ways about it. Okay, Lucy, did we ask you to be that exact, honey? No, we didn't. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us about that. Lucy is absolutely right. It is 39.3786541220001.2. Okay. All right.
We usually just say it's 39 inches to make it easy. Okay.
Yeah. So you're getting even a little bit more than we told you. Okay.
So Stephanie Stitches says, how do you send a gifting? What would probably work most of the time is that you mark on the outside of the box that it's a gift. And that sometimes works in Canada, not always. And that probably sometimes works to the UK too.
But you have to match it. You don't just write that on the box. Walter's wrong in the way he's described that. I just sent a couple of things to the States. First of all, they asked me what's in the box. So there's categories. So I told them crafting supplies. Okay. Then they ask you how much it's valued at for insurance purposes and stuff like that, and how they figure out duty and thing. I said under $10. And then I say, and please mark it as a gift. What that does is it pretty much makes it so that the person getting it will not have to pay anything extra from it. Like they don't have to pay duty. Okay. You can do the same in reverse coming from the States to Canada. But it's still, there's always the possibility that they won't believe you. So if you're sending something that's worth $500 and you're going to slap on, oh, it's under $10 and it's a gift, but the box weighs
50 pounds, they're going to be suspicious about that, and they are going to inspect it, okay? But for most things that you send, you can get away with putting on a lesser value. Now, the only problem with that is, let's say it was worth more than $10 for insurance purposes, and if it arrives broken or doesn't arrive at all, because you filled out the custom form that said it was only that amount, that's all you can claim. Okay? So it's a bit of a game that you're playing with the Postal Service anyways for all of this. No matter what you do, it's going to cost you. At least it does for us in Canada to send anywhere, even within our own country for that matter. Let's see, what's that? Mazel says, my son has sent us Christmas gifts and we've had to cough up import taxes. Told him, don't buy us anything. Yeah, where's your son located? Because again, it depends on how they label it too. Pat says, generally speaking, I can get quilting cotton for about $13 American, even with the 30% less. Canadian fabric is still a good bit more.
No, not necessarily.
It's not.
$13 US dollars is the same as $17 Canadian for a yard, right?
Yeah.
We buy it by the meter, right? So
this is what we're saying, figuring it out cost per inch.
But let's just say meters and yards are the same. Okay, it'd be $17.22 Canadian. There are some quilt stores like the one we usually go to that charge about that price, right?
Yeah.
$17 a meter. Hang on. So if I go,
Walter's about to confuse you. It depends on what you're willing to pay, more than anything. But generally speaking, it's still a better deal for Americans right now.
Yeah, so what we would end up paying for no, that's not right.
What are you trying to do?
I don't know.
Well, basically confuse everybody. Lucy says 50 miles is 80 kilometers. If you're driving, just check on your speedo for the conversion. Yep, that's right, Lucy. Andy says, I have to check, but I know speedometers here in the States used to show miles and kilometers, came in handy years ago when my son and I did our road trip in Canada. Yeah, okay, so you come up to Canada and you see that on our roads, it says it's 100 or 110 kilometers an hour. That's basically 60 to 70 miles an hour, okay, on a highway. In fact, you can be very confused because in Ontario, our major highway, 401, they said that you can now go 110. It used to be 100, but they've never changed the sign. So it still says it's 100 kilometers per hour, but you can actually go 110. So if you figured this out.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So like at $13 US for a yard is the same as $14 US for a meter, right?
Yeah.
So that would be $18.65 for us in Canadian.
Yeah.
But we can still buy our fabric. I said $22 for a meter of fabric, but it ranges anywhere from about $17 to $22.
Or 23.
Or 23.
In some
cases.
Depends.
It depends on where you go. It depends on who you shop with.
Yeah, you got to shop around, for it. Plus, specialty fabrics are going to cost you more, or limited edition designer prints or something like that. It's a game. It's a game. You got to know your prices.
But if you hear the word that we're talking about something and we're always talking in Canadian dollars that it costs something, right? That is not the same as US dollars.
Yeah. No, Teresa, you don't have to take it to a customs outlet. The post office will do that for you. I know. I just ship stuff to the States, so you don't have to go to a customs outlet. You can take it right to the post office, and they will look after all of that for you. Does the shipping advice work for FedEx and UPS as well as the Postal Service? No idea. UPS I don't deal with, because if you order something and it's coming to you from UPS here in Canada and it's coming from the States, they double dip. They charge you a brokerage fee as well as the fees that you'll have to pay for duty.
Yeah, so it can end up costing you even more.
I've had things come that cost me more than what the original item was. I do not. UPS is a big ripoff.
If I look at a U.S. site and I see something I want to order, if I find out that they're shipping via UPS, then I don't take it. because I have to pay, not only do I have to pay taxes, the duty taxes of 13%, I have to pay an additional brokerage fee on top of that.
Yeah. It is very, very confusing. And Mozilla says, one year I sent a metal art piece to son in Arizona for Christmas gift. I almost fainted. I paid $400 to ship. I know. It's astronomical what stuff costs. You know, I've had many of you ask me about the things that I make on the 3D printer and how much you would like to have some of those things. But I can't send them to you. It costs a lot of money for it. So that's the big problem. I would love to, but I can't afford it. I can't afford it. You know, so yeah, we're being ripped off, people, on both sides of the border by all the carrier services, whether they're U.S. Postal Service, Canadian Postal Service, UPS, FedEx, whatever, Purolator. They're all ripping us off.
Teresa, that's unwritten mileage. You can go 110 and 120 on the 4 as long as you don't get caught.
Well, she says if you're willing to go to get your car impounded. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that used to be the rule. Right-hand lane 100, middle lane 120, go as fast as hell on the outside one. Yeah, that's they'll get you. They will nail you on something like that. Don't recommend anybody coming up here who's never driven into the world try that.
I mean, yeah, we can drive to the U.S., buy some fabric, and bring it back, but it depends. Normally you have to declare it when you come across the border. If you've gone for more than 24 hours, you can't really, I don't think you can bring much back. And you have to be gone. I don't know what the rules are right now. You have to be gone, I think, at least 48 hours, and then you can bring something. You can bring something back and not have to pay duty. So
yeah, Andy says, do post office still allow sending things COD? They do, but you pay a fee to have it go as COD. And so they double dip. So you pay at this end to send something COD, a service charge of some sort. I have no idea how much that is because I haven't sent anything by COD ever. But when the person gets it, they're also paying for that as well. So yeah, they're going to get you coming and going. You know, we just can't win this battle with them. Yeah.
Yeah, like if you, I think you have to be away at least 72 hours to bring a substantial amount back. But there's lots of people that go down and then they don't declare it. They just add it to their stash or whatever.
Well, you know, people might go down and do some clothes shopping or something like that. They just, you know, they've got their suitcase. They just cut off all the labels, all the price tags and everything, pack them in their suitcase, and yeah. And we've brought stuff back over the years from across the states that we didn't declare. But I'm always just shitting my pants when I'm going across the border because I'm thinking, what if they stop us? What if they pull us over? What if they charge this and all this kind of stuff? Because they will nail you for that.
Yeah, if they find that you're lying, they bring them back. They can fine you quite a bit.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Heidi. Depending on how long you spend in the USA, you get a duty-free allowance.
Yeah, you get a duty-free allowance. I can't remember how much it is. It's either $600 or $800 I think it's after 72 hours.
Yeah, something like that.
And you can only do that once a year or something.
Yeah, well, Lucy, yeah, it is very expensive to mail stuff out. It is. And I imagine it's not just our country, it's not just the States, it's everywhere. Britain, the whole bit.
Yeah, Colleen just said it's 800 Canadian.
Is that what the
Yeah, I think it
is?
is.
Okay.
I think you have to be out of the country for 72 hours.
Yeah. And Shelley says, we're at home. How many layers? My, you're a big person, aren't you? How do you get that parka under all those sweaters?
Yeah, Stephanie, we can bring stuff back. If we declare it, it's got to be less than $800.
But yes, we can bring it back, but we still have to pay for it in Canadian dollars.
Yeah, we have to pay for it in American dollars,
but we have to buy American dollars.
Yeah, I know. We still have to pay for it in American dollars.
If we happen to find something that's cheaper,
in the
if
US,
it's a good price,
when I figure out the exchange rate, then I might buy it. But if I find it's about the same or only $1 or $2 out, I probably wouldn't buy it.
yeah. But we also, okay, so then somebody will pay for it on your credit card. Well, I probably would, but it's still going.
Yeah, well, if you pay for it on your credit
Why
card,
don't you cut me off some more?
it appears in your credit card as a charge for, let's say, if you buy something for $80, it appears in your credit card that it's a charge for $80 American, and then it converts it to Canadian. The credit card takes a percentage of that as well. So if it's $1.30, if it's 30 cents on the dollar exchange rate, they may charge you an extra 4 or 5 cents. So it ends up costing you $1.35 or something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, so we still get nailed one way or another. Maybe not as severe as, you know.
Like, I mean, we
but
can when we go to the US, we can buy American funds, right?
yeah.
But I still have to pay the exchange rate.
Yeah, we still have to
Right.
pay.
So I mean, I can buy $100 American. It's still going to cost me $130
Canadian.
or more Canadian.
Yeah, we can't escape that. You can't escape that in any country. That's just how exchange stuff works. Karen B says, when I buy in USD, I take the price at $1.35 to get a Canadian dollar equivalent. Yeah, basically, you're always calculating in your head when you look at the prices if you're down in the States, saying, well, how much is that really going to cost me in my money, kind of a thing. Yeah. U.S.-Canadian border forces are terrifying on the U.S. side. They tore our rental car apart when we visited when I was a teenager. My dad gave the wrong answers to the questions, and they got real pissy. Yeah, it's kind of scary going across the border, and no, some of them don't give a shit. They just, yeah, have a nice time. I do remember the day and age when, as Canadians and Americans, we go back across forth over the border, no big deal.
In fact, yeah, it used to be you didn't need a passport. Now you need a passport.
Yeah, now you need a passport for it. Now, well, we've needed a passport since 2001, since 9/11. That's everything changed at that point. But anyways, yeah, exactly, Elsie. My brain hurts now with all this too. So we're going to change the topic here. And let's look at some comments this week. And most of the comments that came through this week was on what we said about Meerkat, the African fabric place. We talked about this on So Chatty, and I just thought I'd go over a couple of comments people made. Now, before I do that, though, I was a little worried about the things that I was saying with Meerkat because I didn't want to give the wrong impression that I was trying to unseam them from the nave to the chops here and cut them up. I've tried to give, I thought, as best balanced explanation of how I feel about them as I could. I didn't want to slash them. I've tried to use what they wrote to me as their voice to justify what they were doing. And the bottom line is I won't be buying anything from them in the future because it's too expensive. I'm not that impressed with African fabrics. Okay, they're nice, they're okay, but at the price they're charging and all the other things that I talked about on So Chatty, for me, it's too much of a headache. I'm not going to worry about it. So some of you were, well, everybody kind of agreed with me on what I said about, their practices. Like one person said, I agree with you about your purchases. If I bought a kit, I would think it had everything I needed in it to make them a project, unless otherwise specified. A kit without the pattern, they assume that you already have it or will purchase it. Not right. Even the pattern with the picture of a baby in a bed quilt. They should have been more specific on what your bag of fabric will make, or have different bags of fabric for you to decide which one you want to get with your pattern. As for Walter's kit, looks like she must have put unbleached muslin in the kit, but the display kit must have used bleached muslin. Again, sounds like they were hoping no one would notice these details, especially at a busy quilt show and all the impulse buying. Maybe they were hoping no one would notice. I applaud you for contacting them on these issues. They need to know. Yeah, very true. Now, I don't want to say that what they were doing, they were consciously thinking of it as being doing it to be dishonest, okay? But, exactly. When you're at a quilt show, you're in a frenzy. You suddenly, look at all the pretty stuff, I have to have it. And boom, 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 boom. So you're not really standing there perusing it, at least I don't, and, reading all the fine print. But even in the fine print that they had on those, it did not, as you know, in So Chatty, it did not explain those things clearly. So
Another person said, oh yes, quilt shows rely on impulse buying. I always go around the vendors noting what interests me. Go and have a coffee, think, then go back and look again. 9 times out of 10, I don't buy it. 9 times out of 10, I don't buy it. I think what they mean is after you've had the cooling down period, you kind of rethink what it is that you're going to buy. And that's probably a good idea. We did do something like that. We walked around the whole place before we bought anything just to see who was there and whatnot. Still didn't stop me though afterwards when we came back in 3 more times. Somebody, I think it was Lucy, she said that the African fabric costs $20.75 Canadian dollars per yard here in the UK on today's conversion. So that's about $3 less than what she's charging it here. However, shipping costs. She doesn't manufacture it here in Canada. She gets it from South Africa. So she's got to figure in that stuff in it, just to be fair to her. Because I think there's a little bit of a gouge, but she is a business. She needs to make some money, and I have no idea what the markup is, how much she's actually paying for it. Now, if we knew how much she was actually paying for the fabric, it might be more like a gouge. I don't know. I have no evidence of that, and I don't want to accuse them of something like that. Somebody else said, sound like using African fabrics high maintenance. I'm not interested in pre-washing my fabric before I use it. Muslin is a looser weave than cotton, so I can't see it being used in a quilt with any success. It's like pairing Kona cotton with grandma's nightgown that has been washed over and over and making a quilt from that. I'm not getting a warm and fuzzy feeling about this company. Way too many unknowns about the patterns of fabric given. Any quilt kit I have ever purchased always included the pattern. Yeah, and I think that's not getting the warm and fuzzy feeling. That's me. There's something just, it doesn't feel right. So you get that kind of feeling, best not to deal with the company in that way, in my opinion. Another one said, I agree about the kits from this company. Thank you for making us aware. Their business model is one of BS baffles brains. I don't appreciate that. So thank you for bringing those issues to light with this company. Maybe they will change. Maybe they'll change. I doubt it. That's their business model for it, and so be it. I mean, I'm sure they've got customers that absolutely love them. Don't have a problem, and that's fine. And then last comment here. I can feel your blood pressure going up as you talk about this quilt kit and why it's a trust issue. Are you sure you want to keep and work with this kit? Maybe you can trade it with another quilt for something with more positive energy. Just a suggestion. Yeah, my blood pressure was going up because it just, to me, it was like I was being taken for a ride, I thought. And I mean, she did explain herself. But you can justify anything, can't you? So it just left a bad taste in my mouth, so I'm choosing not to deal with them. And I think I'm going to combine the fabrics from the one kit that is actually a baby quilt with the one that didn't have the pattern. I'm just going to, and I'll do my own thing with it somewhere down the road. I mean, I do have the fabric. So, I mean, I can find something that'll work with it, and that's what I'll do. So anyways, thank you for your comments this week on all of that. And we're getting close to our time here, but see if I've missed any. I have no idea what a Munzo card is. And Lucy, you have to remember you're in Britain and we're in Canada. And some of the things you have in Britain, we don't have here in Canada, nor have we ever heard of them. And vice versa, I'm sure. So I have no idea what a Monzo card is. And Marcia says, do you guys travel to the U.S.? I have been to Canada once for the World's Fair back in 1967. Beautiful country. Oh my God. Marcia.
Yes, we have traveled several times to the U.S.
But 1967 for an expo? I was 10 years old.
Yeah, about that too.
Holy crap. We've changed a lot in this country since 1967. Okay? In 1967, Canada was pretty primitive. We've grown up a little bit since then. So
yeah.
Come again, see the change.
I think the last time we were in the U.S. was about 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah,
but we have gone frequently in the past. We've been to several places.
Yeah.
We've been to California. We've been to.
The
I've
New
been to
England,
Dallas.
New
You haven't been to
York,
Dallas. We've been to Las Vegas a couple of times. We've been
New York, Florida,
New York City,
all the states in between Florida and the border.
We went to New Orleans. Yeah,
Yeah,
been
we've
quite a few
traveled quite a
different
bit in
places.
Canada. But quite frankly, the reason we don't travel in the U.S. right now is, well, one, the money issue, okay? And we don't feel comfortable in the United States. I'm
Actually,
sorry.
anytime we've traveled in the U.S., I'm always glad to get back on Canadian soil.
Yeah,
So,
we just don't feel safe.
been to Florida a few times.
I know that that's probably the effects of media and everything like that. We know lots of American people. They're lovely, like you people, okay, on here and everything like that. But, you know, I don't know. And quite frankly, there isn't any. We are going to the States at New Year's to go to Stephanie's retreat. We're looking forward to that. And we're driving to Georgia with that.
Lucy B says it's a bank card.
Oh,
Okay, we have debit cards.
Yeah, we have
so
debit cards. Yeah.
I have bank cards that I can take if I go down to the U.S. I can put it in a machine and it gives me American dollars.
Oh,
But they charges. I have to pay the exchange rate.
Yeah. We have those kind of cards too. So, Marcia said she stayed in a camper back then. Okay. Well, you were probably just a wee thing. Yeah, Jan says we were nice in 1967. A lot to be said about us now. Very true. The face of Canada has really changed in, what's that, 60 years ago? Almost 60 years ago. Holy shit. That was a long time ago. Andy says, as I'm an American and there are states I won't even go to anymore. Yeah. Well, you know, to be really truthful too, there are spots in Canada too that are getting kind of that way too. So I don't know, maybe it has to do with your age. Maybe you get to an age where you get a little bit more paranoid about things. As a young person, you don't care. You know, it's just, oh, whatever kind of a deal. I don't know. Derek says he loves traveling in the U.S. and looking around Walmart, etc. to find an array of things in the stores. That is the one thing about going shopping in the United States. The selection is huge. We do the same thing. We'll go to a Walmart and we'll go, guys, we have Walmarts here, but they don't have, like, the Walmarts in the States are very different in terms of volume of choice. We just don't have that kind of choice up here in Canada, so we see things that we don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people.
However, we do not see bagged milk in the States, and Stephanie can attest to that, and Cheryl. Yeah, yeah. Stephanie says we're going to Walmart when you come down. I want to see your reaction.
Yeah, well, our Walmarts are pretty big, but they're not as big as the U.S. ones.
No. But anyway, so we've talked about a gamut here. I think this is the economic issue. I did put in the title "Oh Canada" because I was going to talk a little bit about fireworks, but you know, we have a lot of them going off in around our neighborhood, and they'll be going for a week. And you know, places in Canada are burning. Shouldn't they be banning fireworks? There are kids in Toronto last night last night was July 1st, who were going around and lighting up fireworks and burning each other with them and using them like weapons and the whole bit. It's ludicrous. I say ban fireworks. Don't sell them anymore. Use laser lights. Then they'll find something that'll probably shoot them at airplanes and knock them out of the sky. I don't know. Whatever. It's just crazy. The irresponsibility of people. But that's a discussion for another day, because we could be here another hour talking about all that. So, and bagged milk as well. Bagged milk always gets a reaction all the time. But anyways, okay, well, again, happy 4th of July to all the Americans on here. I hope everybody in Canada is having a good Canada Day long weekend as well. And if you're from someplace else in the world, like England or whatever, you must have a holiday somewhere along there, don't you? So happy holiday whenever that might be. And we'll see everybody next week. Stephanie and Steven, Sewing with Stephanie Steven this coming Wednesday as usual. And all my other usual things. And Pop-Up Sew Day
Stephen's Birthday Bash, as it's now become known, July the 15th. Watch your email for those of you on the mailing list for an announcement, but it'll also be in the show notes. Probably next, not next week, the week after. Well, actually, probably some of it will be in next week as well with the link, the Zoom link for that. Okay, everybody, have a good week, and we'll talk to y'all later.